Hey, it's Dan Morales, and this is Homebuyer Radio. This is episode number 51. This week, what I wanted to talk about was renovation mortgages. I had a question recently and sat down with this client to talk about just options, and she had a number of different ideas that she was looking at. One of the options was to keep a house that they own currently and maybe do a larger scale addition to it to be able to help it fit what their family needed to have as they grew. The other option was to sell that house and turn around and build a new house and maybe look at more along the lines of a construction loan. And of course, the third option that we talked about was buying a new property, but then being able to, maybe buy that diamond in the rough and do some improvements to that property after they bought it. Okay, let's tackle that first one, and maybe over the course of the next 3 weeks, we'll talk about each one of those different scenarios in a little more detail, so you can maybe understand what some of those options were. So the first thing we talked about was, what happens if you own a property now and you're contemplating, this property, we kind of love where we're at, but it's maybe just not what we need it to be right now. And, we maybe might want to sell, but gosh, if there was a way that we could modify this property, do an addition, maybe make some changes to it where we could maybe make this house what we really want it to be, could that be an option? Is there a mortgage that would allow for that? And the good news is there is. Right? There's some different renovation loans that you can do where you can get a mortgage. That mortgage, if you will, can finance the improvements that you're going to make to the property. Now, there are some limitations, right, to how much you can finance depending on what an appraiser would say the property is going to be worth. But long story short, what they normally do is they would normally go through and say, okay, we need your, plans and specifications of what you're going to do to the property. And of course, that would normally come from, a builder or a contractor that you're going to hire to do the work. We would normally take those plans and specifications of what you're going to do. We would normally shoot that over to the appraiser. The appraiser would say, your house with these improvements made to it is going to be worth X number of dollars when it's all said and done. That is what's called a subject to appraisal, meaning that the value of your house subject to this work being completed is X number of dollars. The amount that the bank can finance towards the improvements is driven by what that subject to appraisal has to say. We're typically going to be able to lend you a percentage of what the appraiser says the value of the property is going to be, taking into account the improvements that you're going to make, okay? And then we can typically lend you a percentage of that. What happens is we would normally pay off any mortgage that you have on that property now, and then we would turn around and we would hold those extra dollars that are left over to be used to pay the general contractor as the work is completed on the house. So that is one way where you can actually keep your house, do the improvements to it, and finance them as part of a mortgage. More and more clients looking to do that, right? As we have some difficulty with a shortage of inventory of homes for people to buy, that's something more and more clients are starting to take a look at is, gosh, could we maybe spend a little bit of money, make some modifications to the house we already have, stay here and have it fit, our family a little bit better. That could be an option, okay? So if that's something you want to investigate or look into, again, my name is Dan Morales. I am a mortgage loan officer. This is what I do for a living. I have done a number of projects like this, okay? There's different criteria depending on the program and how we put it together, but, I just wanted to kind of express that, something like that or that scenario is something that can work if that's something that you're interested in. So again, Dan Morales, NMLS number 709729. You can reach me at 616-931-4629. Again, 616-931-4629. Dan@danmorales.com is my email address, or of course just the website, danmorales.com. Again, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender.